Hello everybody. Thank you for selecting this video. I hope you will enjoy the subject that I have presented to you today. I want to show you today my Java global editor. It is based on Iris NativeAPI and fully written in Java, except for a few extensions that I had to add because they are not available in the native API, not so handy to make the code understandable. And this was my major purpose, to have a code that is easy to understand, that is easy to use, and concentrates on the facts that we manipulate the global and not concentrate on fancy surfaces or something else. Okay, let's start. I have the Docker prepared. The Docker is started, the container, and here we enter the Java interface. We connect to our local server that I have prepared with some default globals for the demonstration. You see it's the typical set of connection information that indicates that this works with any Iris installation and instance. So now you are connected, and we see here the base menu that shows all the functionality. To work on it, you have to select the global, you have to select subscripts, and this information is kept over all the functions, eventually updated. So I will show how this is working and show you where there are the extras that are not straightforward native API. First we have to select the global. Here we have my standard prepared. It could be any global that you know. It's not even necessary that it exists, and I show this later on during the demo. So this is my global name. Hitting enter takes it over, and it shows, and that's the difference to other handlers, that there is a node and he has a value. Therefore you have the equal sign, which means there is a value, and it has subnodes. So this is the top of a tree in this case. If I don't do anything now, I would enter, work on at that level with no subscript. But to make it a little bit more interesting, I have I select some subscript, and I work on subscript 4. You have already the show functions included. You see here's the subscript 4, and it's a $p $list block structure and has subnodes. It means this is the top of a subtree. Well, and it would be interesting, what are those subtrees? And therefore I go to option 2, and that is something that is the extension over the standard API. Since it approaches, it goes to the next node that contains data. So I do 2, and it steps forward. See the subscript JSON, and well, the content is a piece of JSON, and there's data, and you see there is no indication of further subscripts. So this is a bottom level node already. This function acts like a $query, just touching nodes that contain global, or let's say it's the physical way. So, and of course, if you have a query forward, there is a query reverse. That's number 3. Oop, I have to select it, otherwise there is no 3. Yeah. Okay, and we go back where we started before. Okay. What happens here is that every time you access a node, its subscript is kept to remember to be used for the next action. So our backward, our reverse query is related to this previous and actual subscript. So it goes back. Well, and now let's do it a little bit more elaborated. I move to a node a little bit more up. You see, here is the subscript list. Our last subscript was 4, and now I go to 2,2. We have a node 2,2, and it has subnodes. This sounds good. Looks like to be a tree, and I add the option 4, and that's what you already know from ZWrite. It's a ZWrite type listing, and it works of course over several levels. And if I want to see the whole global, I clear my subscripts, which means selecting a global. I select the top, go to 0, multi-D, and now I let it list again, show the global tree with function 4. Oops, that was a little bit long. Okay, so this is the whole global, and I'm sure you recognize it. It's the same that I typically use for my presentations. You see here there is the global level 2.2. There is nothing in there. It's an empty node. So I select my index 1. Select my 2,2. It has subnodes, it has no value. So I set a value, which is identical to update a value. This is function 5. Actual value is now no value. Now there, oops, there is something. Okay, if I do my list again, you see, now there is something. Well, I'm not really happy with that content, so I step forward to function 6. I delete this content. And that's another extension to the standard API, since standard API provides a kill, which means in the global to kill the whole subtree with all contents. There's another functionality called zkill, which only kills the content but leaves the node intact. So, and this is delete the global value. Is the 6, and you see the old content just in case you have to recover it. If you select it again, well, we select, which is identical to the show functionality. Okay, now you see the value is gone, but the tree is still existing. And now I do my last action on this Gilbert. I delete also the whole tree, which doesn't show anything at the moment except the last Gilbert access. I return to the top and list the Gilbert tree again, and now you see the 2.2,2 is gone. There is still number 2. Now I create a new one, defining, so okay, I want to have a subscript number 7. Let's say 7. Okay. We are at the top, therefore no default. Subscript list is 7. I write to this global. Hi there. I go to the top. I list it, and the Gilbert is there. So, and now I promised you to show how this works if the global is not existing. So, I know there is no Gilbert demo. So, I name my Gilbert demo. You see, it's not necessary to have the caret in the beginning. This is a little bit of comfort. So, and you see, there is nothing. So, well, I could assign a value there, but select the subscript to a set of value 5. I'm not very creative. I create a next subscript. Okay, now it's 5,6. Doesn't exist either. So, and I write a demo, a text to it. Update is, or set is function 5. Well, there's number 5 plus 6. Okay, there is the value. I go back to the top, make our demo. I want to advance to the next existing subnode. It's 2, remember. I continue, and it's 5 for 6. And to number 3, I go back to subscript 2. I go back, there is nothing. And if I continue to go back, at this point, I start with the last subscript at the very end of that global. This may not look so impressive, but it's very useful for editing. You know, instead of going forward 10 times, so it's easier to go to the end and 2 times back. So it's a bit of comfort. Well, so these are the basic functionalities. And, well, bye. Okay. This was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was interesting to you. And I hope you will see me again with my next video on this channel. Goodbye.